Ooh.
How's the offseason been so far? How are you doing?
Off season been great. It's good. Come back, get back to work. So just stacking day by day, getting ready for camp.
What type of momentum did you enter? Would you say you entered the offseason with just after getting the playing time and just having the production you did?
Just being on the field, you get more, like you said, momentum, more confidence. So just getting the feel for how everything go. That's just as much motivation as you need for next season. Made a couple plays last year, but it's always the goal to make more plays as the year go on. Next year. So just stacking.
Sorry.
Nah, you good.
Where have you
Such a
seen
good soundbite.
Where have you seen Drake improve from where he was last year at this point in the summer?
I would say I can't really speak for Drake. I kind of focus on what I need to improve on, but I know as players, everybody got their own perspectives of what they need to improve on. So I just feel like maybe, he just worked on what he had to and just coming back stronger. So I feel like it'll all come to life when we in camp with pads and we get a real look. So.
How'd you describe the competition in the wideout room right now?
I know we got a lot of guys. There's 12 of us. At the end of the day, probably be six of us if we're being honest. So every day another opportunity to get better, be great. So we all know we in competition, but it's up to us at the end of the day. So.
Kayshon, what did you learn last year? Kind of the whole year was not easy at times, and you made some plays. But what kind of things did you learn to kind of prepare you and continue what you want to do in the NFL?
I feel like I said earlier, just kind of making a couple plays, finish 589 yards, 3 touchdowns. Everybody got goals on being 1,000-yard receivers and stuff like that, but it starts with days like this, just working with the team, getting on the same path as Drake, and as long as we on the same page, everything else can take part of itself. I feel like we could be so much better, I feel like we haven't really reached our potential. So I feel like as players, there's always room to improve.
How much have you interacted with Stephon Diggs so far and within your
He hasn't been here much, but we talk to him every time he comes, so it's been great talks.
How challenging is it to learn a new system?
I feel like it's not bad. Since I've been in the NFL, I had a new offensive coordinator every year, and then at LSU too, three years straight new offensive coordinator. So it's nothing new to me.
Even though you've been here a few years with so much new, does it feel like you're on a new team a little bit this year?
Nah, it don't feel new. Foxborough kind of starting to feel like home, going into my 3rd year. So it's just what I'm used to. So.
What's it like having KB out there for this part of this part of the off season? Because last year he was still rehabbing.
I think it's good to have a vet in the room. He could be one of those vets that's just like he don't need to come. He experienced like stuff like that. But I think it mean a lot to me that he here putting in the work with us every day. So that mean a lot.
Are the dance moves better after the ACL?
Nah. He need to stop dancing.
Your name was in Final some reported trade talks before the draft. Did you see that at all, and how did that make you feel?
I heard about it, but I try not to really put too much time into that. It's just a lot of people just sitting behind phones, just typing. So got nothing really to do with me. But appreciate y'all.
I'm good. Good to see you.
See you too.
Yep.
Kind of thoughts on how you guys are progressing and adapting, getting all this new stuff.
Yeah, no, we're figuring it out. Every day is there's a new mistake, which is a good thing. As long as we aren't repeat offenders, we'll be better as a team.
What's the biggest thing you've seen about this defense so far?
Effort. Yeah, everyone's flying to the ball. Even the big guys out of the stack, corners who are on the opposite side of the field, everyone's running to the ball.
Like playing with Robert Spillane.
Yeah, Spills is a lot of fun. He's so wise. He's funny. He's intense. And he's my guy. Yeah.
You guys are connected pretty fast here.
Yeah. No, we have a lot of similarities. We both have fun when we're out there together. Yeah.
How about tempo?
Mm-hmm.
Pace of practice. How would you describe the tempo you guys want to establish and how you've experienced it thus far?
Yeah, no, the tempo's been really good. In OTAs, it's hard to get a full feel because we aren't in pads. But for the most part, I think the offense and the defense have done really well in that area.
How difficult is it? Because Mike was saying this beforehand, you want the guys to go full speed, but you have to obviously show some restraint when you are in OTAs.
Yeah.
And not pads. How do you walk that fine line?
I think it's the rookies who have the hardest time with it. You kind of learn as the days go on, and the more years you do it, the easier it gets. But you kind of just have to learn on your own, by watching people and by doing it. Yeah.
There are no games right now, but what's it mean for you to be out there with like the first group, especially considering where you've come in your career?
Yeah, no, it's been a blessing. God has blessed me. I cannot complain. It's been a lot of fun. So I can't be more grateful. Yeah.
How big is the impact of the defense that Coach T is now feeling here?
Coach T's still with us. We see him every single day on Zoom. So it's not his energy is not unfelt. We still get to hear his energy, hear his voice. He gives us the corrections that we need to get. So, he's still our DC, and he still leads this group. Yeah. You good? Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Jabrill, I asked Mike before the practice about the competition and just a group in the safety room and how coming into last year between you and Kyle, one of the better safety teams in the league. And he mentioned he really loves your energy on a day-in, day-out basis.
Yes,
It's a whole new culture coming in. Everything's being learned again, new. But what are you trying to bring and carry over that might be novel to you?
I just try to be the same guy every day. I love this game. It's a big passion for me, and I just show that. Try to lead by example, be a guy. Do what the coaches say every time I'm supposed to do it, so the young guys, have something to follow and keep the standard. That's never going to change. No matter who, comes in here, the standard is the standard.
It's been frustrating. I know that in 2023 it was a frustrating season for you. You played really well, and you did in 2022 as well. What's your level of optimism right now about this team trying to get back to where it's a contender?
We just got to keep grinding, take it day by day. Keep learning our fundamentals, keep learning the playbook, keep gelling with one another, keep establishing our identity. So when time the season comes, we can play to it.
Robert Spillane just said that he thought collectively he was pretty convinced that you guys were going to have a really good defense this year. Do you concur with that?
If we keep doing what we need to do the way we need to do it, I definitely concur.
I haven't had a chance to talk to you since the end of your court case. I think that was in January. Do you have any comment on how things wrapped up?
I'm just happy it's over with. I get back to doing what I love to do. Learning experience, I'm definitely going to learn from it.
How much is this, you look at now with Brandon coming in, staff, new staff, everything, a fresh start for you? Kind of with that tough year that you had last year?
I think every year in the league is a fresh start. No matter how well you do or how bad you do, if you're lucky enough and have the opportunity to sit in one of these seats, year in and year out, that's a new opportunity to prove yourself. So I always look forward to that. Whether I do well, whether the year don't go the way I wanted it to.
Kind of piggyback on Tom's question a little bit. The idea that you've now had 3 different head coaches in 3 years, the last 3 years here. How difficult is that?
Not really. I played on some teams that wasn't that good, and there was a lot of turnover with the coaches. So, I could kind of adjust. I could kind of habituate to anything. But typically, football guys, football coaches, we definitely mesh real well together.
With a lot of new faces here, players and coaches, where are you guys just in terms of coming together?
That's it. That's all we're trying to do. Learn one another. Those guys learn us. We learn them. Learn how they want us to do things, how they see things. So by the time the season comes, we can put it all together.
Top percent, how much tired of losing? How about yourself, and how does that change?
I ain't never had to win a season, so I'll be the first one to tell you I'm tired of that. But it starts with the little things. You got to eliminate bad football. You got to be fundamentally sound. You got to play to your identity, and weather the adversity. It's gonna be adversity year in and year out. And typically the closest teams, they overcome the adversity.
Talk about getting back to what you love. What can fans expect from Jabrill Peppers this season? He's such
This is who I always am. Energetic. Guys gonna play hard to the whistle. Try to lead by example. Get all my guys on the same page by being a good communicator, and holding guys to the standard, and those guys holding me to the standard. Yeah, I like him. Smart, savvy. He's doing a great job soaking up what the coaches want him to do, the different techniques. So, college ball is a little different than the league, especially in the Pac-12. He's definitely doing a good job, though.
What do you think stands out to you about
I'm sorry.
What do you think stands out to you about this specific team, this culture so far?
We're just getting started. But I can tell you everyone's hungry, everyone's bought in, to the new identity. And, we're going to do whatever we got to do to get that bad taste out of our mouth, for sure.
What's it like to have Mike as a coach, head seems like he's chatting on every single play with
Yeah.
somebody, talking about different things.
Yeah, I met Coach Vraves when I took my visit to Ohio State, and I didn't know he used to play a little tight end. Back when Brady was here, and he told me to line up. I'm like, he's a linebacker. He ain't got too much. He routed me up, caught the ball. That's one of the first things he said to me when he got here. But it's been good, man. I definitely think that he knows how to get the best out of his players, and I definitely think that everyone has bought in.
Let's take two more guys. Captains from last year. A lot of the team captains are no longer here. You're one of the holdovers who served in that sort of leadership role. How do you see yourself fitting into the new leadership? Are you approaching it any differently? Or?
Like I said, be the same guy every day. Try to lead by example. Try to do things the right way. Do things how the coach wants it done. And it's a lot of turnover in the year. I mean, in the league year in and year out. So I don't really think about all the extra stuff. I just know how to be me. And that's been working pretty well for me.
How have you enjoyed working with Scott Booker so far? And what's he been able to bring in?
I remember Coach Book when he was at Notre Dame. So I'm getting old now, as y'all can see. But it's been real good. He's coaches you hard. He holds you to a high standard because our mistakes are, big mistakes, typically touchdowns, explosive plays. So he does a good job holding the guys to the standard, coaching you hard. Making sure you're fundamentally sound, and just preaching, having fun. It's supposed to be fun when you're out here.
What do you think of Greg Lowe's on the penny?
Yeah, he need to stop wearing my number. I told him he wasn't tough enough for it. Appreciate it.
Good. How are you?
Are you a sweatshirt and the Heat kind of guy?
Yeah, I'd like to switch it up.
What's been your impression of Phase 3 being back on the field? What's it been like getting together?
It's a great opportunity to get to know your teammates, get to learn the defense, and get to come out here and work every day. So we're just trying to get better every day, stack good days, stack good plays, and learn from each other. So excited to be here making progress every day.
Could you talk a little bit about just Mike Vrabel's coaching style and how it's really trickling down?
Yeah, he's very transparent, intense, straight to the point. You know what to expect, which is something I love as a player. All you want is clarity. All you want is clear messaging, and that messaging stays true. It's who he is. So he doesn't have to fake it. He gets to be his true self every day.
What do you like about the defense?
The people. I strive to be the best teammate I could be every day. We got 11 guys doing that, playing for each other, running to the ball, effort and finish on every play. We're going to have a good year.
How do you feel it fits your skill set?
For me, I could play in any defense across the league. I just want to encourage my teammates to be their true selves and leave everything on the field.
Jack Gibbons mentioned that during install, you guys were kind of ahead and already talking about what to do if opponents did certain things. What allows you guys to kind of get that far ahead for you?
Yeah, the number of starts we have, especially in that inside linebacker room, we understand the strengths of certain defenses, and we still all have those scars of plays that beat you in certain defenses. So whether it's here or other teams, all these defenses across the league ideally have the same concepts. So we've played in these defenses before, and we want to talk through some of the trickier downs.
When you said the question before that you think you're going to have a good year collectively, defensively, is that because of the personnel? Is that because of the coaching, or what?
That's because of the people. At the end of the day, players are out there playing games, winning games. Coaches, to me, they want to get you in the best spot that you could be in every time. But at the end of the day, it's up to players to understand where that best spot is for them.
How comfortable are you now being here just for a few weeks?
Extremely comfortable. I feel really good with the guys around me. I know as a middle linebacker that I need to trust in my positioning within the scheme of the defense, which is usually in the center of the defense. So I tell the guys around me, go make plays. I'll make you right, especially the guys in front of me. I love an aggressive, hungry D-line, and it really feels like we have that coming out this year.
Does it feel like team building is an important part of the spring?
Of course. That's everything for us. Connect, learn, and train. And that's what we come out here every day to get to know each other better. Those interpersonal relationships that you have with guys in the locker room pay dividends, especially later down in the season, when maybe you got to ask a guy to push harder, to do more to help the team, and you build those relationships now so that you can have the ability to talk to guys on the team, to ask more out of them, to get on the same level of communication. So that's what we're looking to do.
Guys outside the facility at all?
Without a doubt.
Can you give an example
What did you more?
what you've been able to do, maybe?
Pardon?
Yeah, an example of what you've been able to do away from the facility.
In terms of,
Just connecting with guys.
yeah, we'd like to keep that private. Yeah, thank you.
Your last question.
Mike, ask Coach Rabel to coaching all 90 guys on the roster, and what what the importance of that is, not only to the individual but to the team. Given your kind of career path, how much do you appreciate an environment where everybody comes in here, and whatever your path here, and you're being coached the same level of expectations?
Yeah, if you're not a starter, I tell the guys that aren't starters to train as a starter, to prepare to be a starter. I tell Cam Riley, if you don't come in here with the mindset every day that you will be a starter, you never will. They never expect young guys to come in this league as undrafted players and to rise through the ranks. They don't want it to happen. They don't expect it to happen. So I tell all these young guys, you got to go make that shit happen. Like, at the end of the day, nobody expects an undrafted guy to become a 3-time captain, middle linebacker, but at the end of the day, that's my story, and I'm going to stay true and help other guys reach their dream too.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you, guys.